Hey guys, it's Em, and today we're going to be ranking bosses that I would love to see back in Nightreign. This video, just to get it out of the way, this isn't going to be me just saying, oh, 1-to-1, I wish they came back just the way they were. I'm saying that I'm going to be ranking these characters more so off of the potential I could see they could have in a new formula, or if their movesets were touched up on. That's what I'm going off of. I don't think this is that complicated. I don't think there's that much more I need to explain, so let's just get into it. Iron Golem. Ooh, starting off with a stinker. There's really not much I can imagine Iron Golem would do. Like, the way you would fix Iron Golem would honestly be to make a different character. Because, okay, the big giant that you fight, cool concept, I guess, could be. But with how simple his moveset was, and how his only real threat was him being on that little tightrope ass map, like at that point I feel like you could just make a new character, and it would fill out the same role. Gwyn has to be. If we're including any Dark Souls characters at all, Gwyn has to be in the game. Like, there's just no way he isn't, unless they bring back Cinder. Because I think Gwyn and Cinder together would be really redundant unless they had some, like, change in their moveset somehow. Like, something more unique. Like, maybe Gwyn has Cinder phase 2 moveset, or, like, something a little better than that. And then Cinder only has his phase 1 moveset, but he gets some more moves. That'd be cool. But yeah, Gwyn is Mr. Dark Souls, so there's no way he wouldn't come back. Sif? I feel like Sif could actually fit well, just because Sif has like a lot of wide sweeping moves, and this is meant to be like the co-op thing. With a newer, oh my god, what am I saying? Yeah, they have Red Wolf in Elden, right? Like, Red Wolf really was Sif, but better, but with magic. So I guess there could be some interesting things you could do with Sif. I'll put Sif in maybe. I'm not the biggest Sif fan, I've said it before, but I can imagine it would be cool in Nightreign to see her with an updated moveset. Nito? No, I just, conceptually, the idea behind Nito's boss fight, I just do not like it at all. It is like, hey, I'm gonna spawn in these goons, and I'll sit in the back, you know, tapping you from across the map with like an instant spike, and then doing blow up, and then if you actually reach me, I have like 2 moves. I just can't imagine a way to make him fun. I just can't. Like, there's no enjoyable way for me to go, ah yes, the King Nito. Gaping Dragon, I think, is a cool design. The way he's made in Dark Souls 1 is awful. I don't even think it's arguable. His hitboxes are terrible. If they brought him back now, I'd love to see him with new graphics. It's not like he even looked bad in Dark Souls 1, but like, you know, the update would be nice. Other than that, like, real talk, the only reason I'm even considering maybe is because I think his design is really sick. Other than that, no. Like, he's big and slow and chunky, and I really don't see a way you could make him work now. Like, in the slower paced games, sure. Like, in DS1 and 2, maybe. But in Elden, I just can't imagine him doing anything that I would go, oh yeah, this is cool. This is why I wanted them to bring him back. Also, let me get this out of the way. If there's a boss that they've shown in a trailer already, I'm aware, but I'm gonna act like I don't know that. Or I'm gonna act like, well, let me think of if I would want them in regardless. 4 Kings. 4 Kings makes sense from a co-op standpoint. Like, a lot of these bosses I think make sense from like a co-op place, but I'm not super interested in seeing them. I'm not gonna fake. I don't know. 4 Kings has always kind of been a throwaway boss in my head, but I'll put them in maybe. Like, I think there could be something done there. Demon Fire Sage? No. Because if Asylum Demon's on this list, which he is, we don't need both. Like, I'm gonna just rank Asylum Demon now, yes. I think he is a little too iconic to not come back at all. Also, we already have the tree spirits or whatever, which basically have their moveset already. Yeah, like as Mr. Dark Souls 1, again, I feel like he has to come back, at least as like a mini boss or something. Gwendolyn, no. I don't see a way that this boss works in any scenario that isn't the one he was in Dark Souls 1. And I didn't even like him in Dark Souls 1, so yeah, I'll leave him there. Priscilla? Do I want to say same? Like, what is Priscilla doing? Here's my thing with Priscilla. Like, lore-wise, she should be, like, the strongest character. And then you fight her in Dark Souls 1 and she sucks. And I want to say bring her back to get her to her full potential. But I don't know what her full potential is. Like, in Dark Souls 1, they made her so just there that I don't know what her full potential could even be. Oh, man. It's like, I like the character, but I, like, deadass, I can't think of any way to make her super interesting. You'd have to make her like quicker, make her life one scythe look like the one from 3, like the magic one, and I'm just imagining basically freed. So yeah, I guess I'll leave her there. Quelaag. I think people would want Quelaag. Again, I think she's one of the most iconic bosses in DS1. I don't really care about her though. I guess the magma pools would be interesting since there's like a jump button now in Torrent. I'll put her in maybe. Personally, I don't really care about this boss. If she comes back or not, I don't think I'd mind either way. Taurus Demon? Do we want Taurus Demon? Again, like Dark Souls 1 has a lot of bosses where I'm like, yeah, it's literally just the area. That's the only reason you're hard. Taurus Demon is super slow. I don't see any way this boss comes back good. I just don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know if anyone else would want him back. Again, he is iconic, I guess, not as much as the others, but no. Centipede Demon, not really. Centipede Demon is another boss where it's like, yeah, you know, this area sucks. I can't imagine Centipede Demon being any sort of difficult if he wasn't in that area. I guess if they remake his moveset, then he could be. I don't know how though. I guess if he splits off the little centipede things like as a part of his moveset and not just if you cut off his arm, that could be interesting. Again, because it's co-op. Because I'm trying to think of what's her face? Romana? The lady that's like already a centipede bug woman. I'm like, they did her right. So I imagine they could do something with him. I just don't know what something would be. I wouldn't bring him back. Ceaseless? No. I don't even really think I need to discuss that. Like, you wouldn't care. And I'm like, if you think you would care for him to come back, you wouldn't. Let's be real. Let's grow up. Capra? No, well, okay. Let me sit back. Let me think about this. Cabra has the 2 dogs. Ignoring the arena, he has the 2 dogs. And the 2 dogs could be cool because it's a 3-player game, right? So like maybe you can make the dogs like mini bosses and then he's there. But if it is just him, then that is super uninteresting. Like, because Cabra Demon's moveset wasn't even that good in Dark Souls 1. Oh, and the Omen Killer took his moveset too. Yeah, like Omen Killer literally has his moveset, but better. Because he has like the fire breath. So it's kind of like Asylum Demon. Like if he does come back, I imagine he would be a reskin. But maybe make his dogs bosses, and that would be cool. Like low health mini bosses, and then he's there. That could be neat. He's only here because of like iconability. Like I think anyone who's played Dark Souls 1 knows who that is. So I imagine that there's a way that they could push to make him work. But Calamite, I think Calamite is just kind of awesome. But it's an Elden. See, it's an Elden. Like I think he has one of the coolest dragon designs, if not the coolest dragon design. But Elden is already a game filled with dragons, and I don't know what Calamite could do. I guess they could play around the Calamity more, because his little gravity Calamity thing that pulled you off the ground, that was sick. But that was like his most interesting attack. The rest of it was just like, I'm a dragon, swing head, swing hand, fire breath. They look cool, but like he just did dragon shit other than that. So if they reworked his moveset, gave him some more unique things as a dragon, which I don't think would be that crazy for them to do, considering Bale is pretty interesting. I'll leave him in maybe. Bell Gargoyles? They could. Again, co-op focus on this Nightreign thing. So I imagine it would make sense for them to come back. I'll leave them there. I think it would be cool, but I'm not pining for them either. Beta Chaos, hear me out. I think Beta Chaos, in a world where they get to completely rework her moveset, would be awesome. Because Beta Chaos does have one of the coolest designs. I think Dark Souls 1 had amazing designs across the board. Most of the time. Like, a majority of the time, I think they had amazing designs. Beta Chaos is no exception to that, and lore wise Beta Chaos is pretty important too. So like she made the demons, so I'm like, I feel that a completely reworked Beta Chaos could be awesome. I don't know how exactly it would work. It would be so I want to say rewarding to see that after all these years, the worst boss in From history, I don't even know if that's arguable, comes back and is actually not ass. I think that would be nice. Vendrick, no. As much as I love Dark Souls 2, I don't think that would make any sense. Like, because Gwyn at least is still a fighter. Vendrick was very much meant to be like a hollowed corpse at the end of the game, like completely. And he doesn't really have any interesting moves. The only way they could rework him to be interesting is if they make him like Gwyn, where he has like his armor and stuff and he has like a completely different moveset. And at that point, I don't think it would need to be him. So, I'll put him there. I wouldn't be jumping off the seats for him. Felstat? The thing about DS2 is, like, I don't think the bosses are as iconic. Like, people aren't, like, as a Dark Souls 2 fan, even I said in my review of Dark Souls 2, I feel like the bosses were more of checkpoints than anything. Dark Souls 1 bosses weren't amazing, but they always had, like, this spectacle or, like, this amazing design to draw you in. Dark Souls 2 has good designs. I just don't think they went as hard as DS1 did in most cases. And Vendrick, I like Vendrick. I think story-wise he's cool. I think his voice is awesome. I just don't think he would need to come back as a boss. Like, I don't think that would make much sense. Hey, Cut and M here. You might be wondering, so why did you end up talking about Vendrick again after you were meant to rate Velstadt? I don't know. I had a complete old man moment, and I just blanked, and I thought of the letter V, and I was like, you know what? I guess I was talking about Vendrick. Yeah, nah, that was like a you have dentures level moment. I can't believe that happened. Anyway, Velstadt would be cool to see in Nightreign, I guess. I don't think he'd be super interesting there, but he has a good moveset. He can get some AoEs. He can play around with the dark a little bit more. That's my thoughts on him. I probably would still put him in maybe regardless. Twin Dragon Riders? No. Bell Gargoyles kinda does, like, yeah, okay, oh, there's two of them, co-op focus, sure. They only really work because of that area. Bell Gargoyles work wherever you would want to put them. These guys, not really. And also their movesets aren't super interesting, in my opinion. And even if you change them, I don't know how you would even really change it to be super interesting, because they are just meant to be guys. Like big ass guys with hailbirds. So I wouldn't be too excited. Stray Demon? Isn't this just Asylum Demon again? We don't need a ton of them. We don't. We've already got the tree spirits. Asylum Demon is really just like a novelty thing. We don't need the others. Throne Watcher and Defender, they could be cool. Yeah, like again, co-op focus. There's two of them. They have the unique revive. I think they could be fun, unironically. I don't really like them in Dark Souls 2, but with like faster Elden Ring controls, I think they could be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll put them there. Like in single player, I think they're miserable. Like in base Dark Souls 2, these are one of my least favorite bosses in the game. But in Elden, I think it could be neat, especially since they have, you know, lightning powers and their own little special unique abilities, and you would be playing around 3 people, so 2 guys can focus one person, then one focuses the other. You separate them from the fast and slow. I think they would be neat. I think they would be neat. The Rotten, I've already said I love the Rotten. I've said it in videos before that I love the Rotten. But you know, it is the Rotten. Like I'm not gonna like completely glaze it. I think he's cool. I guess he could do things if he came back, but I'm not gonna go like, oh yes, the Rotten and his super unique moveset where he slash, hand slam. Cause he could regenerate his limbs, and that was actually a pretty awesome mechanic, but I don't know how that would really play into anything. Also, do they have limb cutting in Elden? I don't think that's a thing. Like, I don't think that they don't have like any of those mechanics. It'd be a cool way to bring him back. I think, I think he could be neat, I guess. Nah, let me stop. I think he has cool ideas that would be kind of neat in Elden, but his moveset I don't think is interesting enough for any way that they could rework him. The Last Giant, okay. The Last Giant? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't even really know what else to say about him. He's very slow, first boss. Even if you reworked him, I think visually he would look awesome in Elden, but no. Other than that, I just don't see how you would make his moveset work that well. I'm trying to think of an excuse for him, because again, the Last Giant, I feel like it would be kind of symbolic and neat to see him, especially since Elden basically has the same kind of giant concept where it's like, oh, all these giants except one are gone and now you have to fight him. Like, it'd be cool to see him in a game alongside Fire Giant, because it's like, this is the old giant style with the new one, but I'll put him in no. Duke's Deer Freya, this is not really a boss that I would care to see come back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think due to the torch mechanics in Dark Souls 2 being a slower game, that's why I liked it. But in Elden, probably not. I just don't see any way that you make that boss super good in a game that goes that fast. Cause yeah, they could tool her up to make her faster, but just the general body type of big ass spider, I feel like it doesn't allow for a ton of that. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't. Smell Smelter. Okay. I think Smelter could be cool. Yeah. I really don't know what else to say about him. Like, look at his design. He's got the fast sword swings. He's got moves to catch you from a distance. He's got the damaging aura. I think he would be neat in Elden. They make his moveset a little faster, give him some new moves, and then he's basically got a timer mechanic. Or you try to shift what you have to being really effective against fire to get him down fast. I think that could be neat. I think that would be a unique mechanic. Skeleton Lords? I think Skeleton Lords would just be fun. Like, just with those big AoE moves we've seen that the characters have, I think it would be awesome to defeat the Lords, and then it's just like a horde. Like, I think that would be cool. Even in Dark Souls 2, when you had like more AoE abilities or like crowd control abilities, like the Hurricane Swords or whatever, and you could just swipe once and all these skeletons fell over, it was awesome. So I think that could be neat. You'd have to balance them like you did in Dark Souls 2, where the individual skeletons don't hurt that bad. I think it would be more of a spectacle fight, if anything, but I wouldn't mind that. And it's not like From hasn't done spectacle fights before with like, you know, Divine Dragon and old Alant or whatever. Alan. My goat has to come back. My goat has to come back. Alan is just too cold. He's just too cold to not. Like, what else am I supposed to say? If you play Dark Souls 2, like, come on. He's already got the Senpuku, but he has his own unique variant of it. And I'm not talking about when you kill him. I'm talking about, like, when he gets the buff. Oh, wait, he doesn't stab himself for that. I'm stupid, yeah. He's got his unique katana buff. He's got his unique katana. He's already a fast-moving boss. You could tweak him, give him some more mix-ups, and I think he would fit in quite easily. He has his parry. He's got his beams. Like, I don't see a reason why we couldn't bring him back. I think I would I don't know what I would do. I would start doing like flips and tricks and shit in front of my computer if they announced that he came back. Sin? I don't even want Sin and Calamite in the same tier. I'm about to move Calamite up and leave Sin here because I think Calamite has a lot more room for interesting things. Sin is just kind of a poison dragon. Love his design, but he is a poison dragon at the end of the day with like a Dragonator in his chest. So I don't really know. I think Elden already has a lot of dragons. We don't need to bring like every single one back. And he already doesn't have that much unique you can do with him. Like, yeah, I guess they could give him some different poison focused moves, but you know, I'm gonna leave him in maybe. Like, they could. I just don't think that would be a super amazing idea. Najaka or Nachka? She could work. Moveset wise, I do like her more than Quelaag. That could be a hot, amazing, scorching take, but even then, I still don't think she would be that crazy. The limb cutting thing with her tail would probably be gone. You could speed her up, and I think she could be cool. Like, since she already casts like homing soul mass and all that shit, like with her magic abilities and her already having the spider body thing, I think that could be cool. So I'll put her in maybe. Ruin Sentinels, again, this feels like a co-op made fight. They already worked well when you fought them by themselves. I mean, by yourself. But with co-op being the main focus of Nightreign, I think they could be really good. There's already 3 of them. There's 3 players. There's your job, everyone. And even if they gank you, their movesets were slow enough where you could balance them all around. Now, you'd have to make them faster for Elden, but if they keep that same kind of principle, which I imagine they would if they brought them back, I think they'd be fun. Seath is also iconic, but like, there's... I can't see a way you make him fun. I just can't. And I know I said, oh, you could fully rework Bit of Chaos to make her work, but I don't see that with Seath. Like, his general body type doesn't allow for a ton of fun stuff, in my opinion. I guess if you gave him like a tail sweep or something, you could jump over it, and that would be a cool interaction. But like, other than that, like the immortality crystal thing, that would have to go. I don't see any way that they could bring that back unless he gets like a domain expansion and he warps you back to his cave or whatever. Or at least if I guess they could make it some sort of gimmick, like where he's in front of you and that's really far away, so getting there is half the fight. Kind of like how you have to run up to Radahn to start the fight and he's just shooting shit at you the entire beginning. Yeah, nah. This is another boss that would require like an entire gutting. But I guess I could, like, from what I just described, I guess that could be cool. There could be cool potential there. Hopping over his tail swipes could be cool. Like, let him entirely rotate, but you could counter all of those moves. The crystal shit could be cool. Man. And he could fly. You do see him fly at the start of the fight. So that could... I'll put you in maybe. Fuck you, Seath. You drive a hard bargain. Royal Rat Vanguard, I think they could be a fun little cute gimmick fight, but other than that, not really. Like, not really, no. I could imagine them being in Elden. Like, that wouldn't be that surprising if a boss like this was in base Elden. But other than that, no. It would be a cute gimmick fight. Kind of like how they are in DS2 already. Royal Rat Authority? No. Like, he could come back. I just don't really see it. Like, yeah, it's another big dog. But unlike Sif or Red Wolf, there's nothing super unique about it. Maybe he could, like, scream and summon more rats or something. But would that be fun? Not really. So, I don't see any way you make this fight fun. Like, with Vanguard, it's at least like, oh, try to stomp all these little mice out while, you know, trying to find the main one. Royal Rat Authority would just be like a gank. Like, I don't see any way that you would bring him back where that wouldn't be like his main focus mechanic. So, Pursuer, I think Pursuer could have a really interesting moveset. And as he is in DS2, I don't think he's that interesting. I've said this before, that Pursuer in everything other than design, I don't think was that hard. He was pretty slow. It was really easy to walk to the side of a lot of his attacks. He was just kind of there. If we have to think about what we could give him, he has a lot of abyssal-based attacks. He's got his fat-ass sword. He can fly. He has his falcon. Maybe you can make the falcon play into the fight. That would be awesome. Yeah, no. I think Pursuer is a boss they could do a lot with if they brought him back in Elden style. Prowling Mages. This is what I like. This could be another funny gimmick fight like Skeleton Lords. I think that like that could happen. And I think they could rework the mages and his like two little cleric dudes to give them more interesting movesets. So it's like you trying to get through all these guys and get to them. The little guys wouldn't really be that much of a threat, but then you have to deal with them like shooting shit at you. And I understand some people might go, well, you just said authority wouldn't work because it would be a gank. But yeah, but like these guys don't have like they wouldn't have a unique moveset. It's very clear with authority that authority, the big ass rat, like is the boss. I feel like with Prowling Mages in them, you could just make all of them part of the same boss as they pretty much were. You could rework the Mages himself and his two little cleric guys, and you could potentially have an interesting fight on your hands. I'll put them in maybe. They're a maybe for me. Old Iron King? Story-wise, I think he's awesome, but it's that design. Like, they literally made him the devil. Like, that's kind of raw. Again, he would need an entire gutting. There's no way he works the way he was at all. And I don't know how let me not say that. Because I'm trying to, I wanted to say, well, how would you make a giant fight work? And then I'm remembering this is Elden, where there are giant ass trolls and Fire Giant. Fire Giant kind of sucks. I kind of hate his boss fights. But the trolls, I imagine he could have like an altered version of the trolls movesets, you know? Where he's like fully standing. He's not in the lava shit. He's fully standing up. Maybe you shrink him down a little bit so he's not like entirely off the screen. And he punches down. He tries to stomp down on you. He spits his fire down. Kind of like a furnace golem, but with a better moveset. Like a more, like you don't have to sit there and go like, oh, let me knock him down and then get the visceral on the head. Like make him have something like what they have, or like stature wise, but you don't have to. You could still give him like the visceral in the head thing, like maybe you stab him enough he falls down like on his hands and knees, and then you stab him in his head and it does like big damage. But like I think this could work. I think if you gave him some version of the Trolls moveset mixed with the Furnace Golems, you might have something that could resemble what his newer Elden fast-paced moveset could be. So I'm gonna leave him there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that would be awesome. Old Dragon Slayer, did we not rank ONS? Are they? Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like literally ONS covers them, but I don't think you need him. I think if we bring back ONS, which I think is very likely, again, considering almost everyone who plays Dark Souls 1 goes, oh, ONS! I don't see any way they don't come back. I don't think he serves a purpose. Nashandra? I don't know how Nashandra would work now. The only way that you could make this boss come back and be fun is if you rework her melee moveset and you make her stealing your humanity like a bigger focus. Like I would say that was the biggest threat of her kit, but she was so slow it really didn't matter. But the thing is, Elden doesn't really have a humanity mechanic. And with her being the core concept of death, basically, like she walks up, she looks like the Grim Reaper, you know, like death is kind of her motif, and her stealing your humanity away from just being close to the shit she puts down. I feel like that was kind of the point. Like symbolically that was the point, and I don't know how you would make that work with anything else. Like, since hollowing isn't a thing anymore, I don't know if they found some way to make hollowing, which I don't think they would do that. Like, that's my thing. I don't think they could do that or would do that, and that's the only way I could see you making her fun to come back. So no, as much as I love her and as much as I think the idea of her being revamped would be cool, I don't see any way you would do it with Elden. I just can't. Mytha, I like Mytha, but I don't really know what she would do now. I get, like I said in the Dark Souls 2 like boss ranking or whatever, I was like, yeah, she has a very fun moveset. I think her moveset is cool. Maybe if you make her throw her head and her head can do something else while she's fighting you, that could be raw. That's really, like, real talk. Because the head could, like, explode and shit, and then she would, like, jump over and tackle it. It's like they would have to work around her head. Like, that would have to be the moveset focus change. They would have to focus on her cranium and how, like, when she throws it, it does things. Other than that, I don't really see any other way she would be fun, so I'll put her in maybe. Legend Zalin, co-op focused game. I already think Legend Zalin's movesets were pretty balanced because I think Ava's moveset is balanced. I think they would work, but I don't think anyone would want them back. Like, genuinely, the way that people bitch about the frigid outskirts, I don't even know if most people who hate Dark Souls 2 know there's a boss there. Like, I've never heard anyone who talks about that area bring up that there is a boss in that area. So while I like them, do I see them coming back? No. Not really, no. I think they could work. I think they could work though. Like, despite the bitching I imagine people would do, you brought back the boss from that fucking area? Like, aside from that, I do think there's some cool stuff they could do because they have ice magic. There's two of them. One buffs when the other one dies. Like, and in a fast-paced game with Elden, you could make them move faster, but not like so fast that their attacks would overlap and just murder you. And then again, there's the co-op thing. I think there's a bit you could do with them. I'm not gonna act like I want them back 1000%, but I think there's cool stuff you could do with them. Lost Sinner seems like a fight that would be in Elden anyway. Like, I imagine she would fight like the Black Knife assassins, but with like a fat ass sword. Like an altered kind of moveset of that, because she was meant to be agile, you know, already. She has her sword parry. She was already like a fast attacker kind of character. I don't think she's as iconic as a lot of the other characters here are, but I think she would fit into Elden really well. So I'll leave her there. Sanctuary Guardian. You guys know I love Sanctuary Guardian. It's like, as unfortunate as it is that the thing has like no lore at all to my knowledge, Sanctuary Guardian was awesome. And visually, I think it would be very distinct from what's in Elden already. Like, I don't think there's a Manticore in that game, to my memory. So yeah, I think Sanctuary Guardian would be pretty raw. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really don't even know what else to say. Like, it was already a super fast-paced fight, visually very distinct. It would be neat. So yeah, I don't even think it'd be that hard to bring him back. Looking Glass Knight, this is some people's favorite boss in DS2, which that is a take. I don't think I agree with it, but it is a take. The thing is with him is that his shield mechanic is way too unique to not come back, and him being able to deflect magic. I don't know if he can do that, but I know when you get his shield, he can. I think both of those by themselves would make him awesome if brought back into the Elden faster style of things. Like, even his moveset by itself has interesting bits in it, like him calling down lightning and striking with it and going out in an arc. Yeah, I'll put him in, yeah. I would like to see him come back. On to the opposite side of things. Nope. Guardian Dragon. What is Guardian Dragon gonna do? I don't even know what else to say. Like, lore-wise, it makes sense for them to be in Dark Souls 2, but other than that, no one is going, oh yes, my favorite boss, Guardian Dragon. You could say the area design is cool. I would agree with that. Other than that, though, I don't see what this boss would add to Elden at all. Like, it would just be a generic dragon fight. Even if you reworked it to how the dragons work now, there's nothing unique that he does. The most unique thing he had that even switched him up in Dark Souls 2 was that he was in a cage and he would land on the walls. That was it. So yeah, no. Giant Lord, For me, if we have to bring back an old school Dark Souls giant, it's either this one or Yorm. But I think Giant Lord is more visually cool than Yorm is. Yorm is kind of just a big ass guy. Giant Lord has the style of the old giants. I think, real talk, just because of that, I would want him to come back. I think his moveset could give more freedom to play around with than Last Giants can. Shit hurts. Cause, okay, Last Giant, he's fucked up, he's beat up, he can take off his armor and attack you with it. I think he has more potential for a more unique moveset, but Giant Lords has more space to play around in a fast-paced way that makes more sense with Elden, if that makes sense. I hope I'm saying that in a way that makes sense. You would have to rework his moveset like Giant Lords, but I think he could be interesting. And if the Giants come back, I don't want it to be Last Giant. I just don't. I just don't want to see my boy shriveled up and weak like that. They were already just resorted to trees in Dark Souls 3. I need to see one with some swag on them. So, yeah. Fume Knight? Yeah. I don't even really know what else to say about it. The way that his moveset is in Dark Souls 2, if you expand on that, I think he perfectly fits Elden. I don't really know what else to even say about it. He's not my favorite boss in Dark Souls 2, but I would be capping if I said, oh, well, I just don't think he would fit at all. He's already got the fast short sword alongside his giant sword, and then he could shift into the giant sword moveset. Like, real talk, the idea of his kit would already work in Elden. So I don't see any way that you wouldn't bring him back. Also, I believe he's pretty iconic. I think most people, even if they didn't play Dark Souls 2, have seen this guy. So, Flexile, oh, this is a hard question. I love Flexile. I think there's such like a cool RPG-ish monster. Like the two, I think you could do something with that. I think you could do something with that. Like an idea, one fast head and one slow head. I think that just would work in Elden. I imagine they could fuse his moveset with the dual-headed boss in Neo, and that would be neat. Like that kind of idea of moveset where they could like spin around and shit. There's a lot of stuff you could do with just the core concept of them is what I'm getting at. I don't think they're the most iconic, but I do think they're visually interesting. Like Sanctuary Guardian, I think they have a very different spice to them. And in core concept, there's a lot you could do with their function. So I'm gonna leave them there. Executioner's Chariot? No. Not really. Kind of like Gwendolyn in them. I don't see any way that this boss works in anything else with any sort of speed. I think that the horses could work, but Chariot, other than that, is a gimmick because you drop the fucking thing on him and then you're fighting the horses. So I'm just like, I don't think they would be super cool. If we brought back just the horses, maybe. Let me not say that. Hold on. Because you would have to change his identity, but like, I feel that Elden could make some boss like that kind of work. Like where it's just the skeleton on the chariot. Like, no, I don't know, man. I don't know, because the chariot is a very big ass thing. Because I'm trying to think about how they did Gaius, the dude on the board. And he was pretty cool. I know Twitter might argue with me. But he was pretty cool. I think you could do something kind of like that, but a chariot is big as hell. I don't know. Like you would have to rework him. The entire thing with the dropping the gate on him, I think you would have to cut that out entirely. Would it be cool to fight a chariot? Because the whole thing with chariots is that they don't stop moving. And I don't see any way that would work in Elden. Like, I don't know when you would hit him. Like, him stopping the chariot to attack you, I don't think would look very visually cool or make sense. I'm gonna put him in no. Alana, I think, is a boss that already gets unfairly shit on because people don't really fight her tactically. I think they just hit her and then they get mad. If she summons the skeletons, you focus the skeletons. If she summons Velstadt, you focus her. Their moveset is balanced. She's slow, he's slow. You can balance both of their movesets. In Elden, honestly, I imagine you could bring her back and she would work. I really don't know what else to say about it. Like, her summoning the skeletons, I think would still work in concept. Again, she's slow. She has a lot of slow ranged moves. It is very easy to react to her while the skeletons are skeletoning. And if she summons Velstadt, let's say Velstadt doesn't make it into the game, it would be a cool callback to be like, oh, I remember him. And again, she's slow. He hits slow. I think it would work. You would have to speed them up a little bit, of course, because if they came back at Dark Souls 2 speed, you'd just be like, oh. obviously. But other than that, I think in concept she would still work. Dragon Rider, other than icon ability, like I just don't see any way you bring him back and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Unless you, okay, I'm being super charitable here with my thoughts. If you make them use every Dragon Rider weapon, like you get far from him, he pulls out the bow, like you'd have to make him like this badass that uses everything. Because I believe the Dragon Riders had 3 weapons. It was like a dual blade, the halberd, and then a bow. Unless you make it work like that, I don't know what to tell you. And even then, I still can't imagine them doing anything cool with this big ass dude doing the dual blade flips and shit. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna leave him in no. Demon of Song. What could you do with this boss? Like, genuinely, what could you do with this boss? I'm trying to think of something, but I really can't. Like, even if you rework her, I don't know what she would do. Like, the frog, you hit her and it bounces off thing, I don't see how you make that fun. And if you take it away, that was kind of her entire thing. So, and other than that, she doesn't do anything of note. Like, yeah, she hops around, like she has good area coverage, and it looked pretty because of the area she was in with like the water splashing everywhere when she moved. Other than that though, like what the fuck is she gonna do? I'm gonna leave you with no, bro. Dark Lurker. I think Dark Lurker isn't, yeah. I think I was hard on Dark Lurker before. I had to fight him again after that video and I warmed up on him a little bit. 2 of them, that's awesome. Their moveset, very unique. Very mysterious character, very different looking character. Would add some spice. Would be awesome to see him in a new style or the new graphics. I think he could work. He already has like the Janemba portals and shit, so he could keep pressure on everybody that's on the map. And again, there's 2 of them. And he has like his beam swords that come out of his hand. You would have to make him maybe a little bit faster, obviously. But like an idea, I think he works. Pinwheel? No. Like, I can make a case for Prowling Magus and the other one, whoever, Royal Rat Vanguard, more than him. I just don't see a way you could bring back Pinwheel and it would be fun. It's like, yeah, you can make him spawn all the clones, but I feel like that would just be more frustrating than anything. Because you'd be like, which one is he? And unlike the rats, like, they would be shooting fire and shit at you. Like, they would have a actual moveset. I'm gonna leave him in no. Covetous? No, not really. I don't see anything unique Covetous is doing. Yeah, he could eat your armor in Dark Souls 2, but I feel like that works in a slower paced game. I can't see that working in Elden that well. Like, I don't see a fun way you make him work. Grave Robbers? Now, here's the thing. I think Grave Robbers could work, but I don't see them coming back. Like, you might fight 3 guys, but you're not gonna go, oh, yes, the Grave Robbers from Dark Souls 2, awesome. Like, no one is saying that. Not a single soul on earth is saying that. So, I'm gonna leave them in no. I think they could work. Yeah, there's 3 of you, there's 3 of them. However, no. I would rather any other characters come back as a trio. You could literally make it like Hollowed, Havel, Lucatiel, and Alva, but by themselves. And I would like that more than them. You don't want them. You can make a boss that functions like they do, but you don't want them. You just straight up don't. Burnt Ivory King. He's another boss where you would kind of have to domain expansion his arena. Like, he would have to have his own unique arena. But, bro, the Charred Loyal, actually, they could probably be fun. You would have to make it only so there's like 3 of them on screen at a time, because I doubt you could bring back the normal Lois Knights. I don't think that would really make sense. But you can make it so like there's only 3 Lois Knights at a time, like the Charred Lois Knights. You fight them, then he shows up. And he already has an interesting moveset concept already with his big ass beam sword. Then he has like the Solar Cinder backflips. Then he has the stab the ground and then ice comes out. Like, there's stuff you can do with his kit. So I'm gonna put him in. I kind of want to put him in yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just think he's too awesome in concept to not come back. I like it. And then it's a co-op game. He already has a very co-op focused kind of boss fight, even in Dark Souls 2. So yeah. I'm gonna leave him there. Belfry DS2? No. If we got the Dark Souls 1 one, you don't need, you 1000% don't need the 2 one. They're just the same kind of idea, but worse. Ancient Dragon? No. Story-wise, Dark Souls 2, cool. In Dark Souls 2, do I think the fight was that bad? Not really. I think it was hyped up a little bit. But, no. He would just be a dragon. There's really not much else. He'd be a big-ass dragon, but he wouldn't really be anything else. Aldea? I would be geeking if Aldea came back. I would. I'm not gonna fake. I think most people who've played Scholar probably would, too. I'm gonna be honest. I will remain. Come on. But, you know. I'll put him in maybe. You would have to rework his kit. Because the way he works in Dark Souls 2, just does thing, gets extinguished, hit him, he goes away. Like, I imagine you can make him do faster warping stuff. He could do more things with like the brambles that come out of the ground. Like, you would just have to make him do more, and I could see him coming back. Because character-wise, and it probably fit too. Like, he was the I'ma do anything to get results kind of character. Like, him ending up in another world, especially for like times fractured, he could be like, I'm looking for a cure to the hollowing, one that does not exist in my world. Like, you, come on. And no matter how sweet. I gotta stop. I'm nerding out about the character more than his kid. Ava. I think you could use Ludden's Allen over Ava, honestly. Ava would be cool. I do like Ava. Cool moveset. Kind of like everything I said for Ludden's Allen. There's a lot you could do with them. Has ice magic, has AoEs, kind of moves fast, moves her entire body. And then they already have like fast bosses like this with the Guardian Lions. I think that's what they're called, with the scythe arms. Like, I think Ava could be awesome, but Ludden's Allen kind of do what I imagine Nightreign would be going for more. Like, it would be one or the other for me. Vort's iconic, but I don't really see him coming back. Like, I don't think it would make sense. It'd be neat. I wouldn't complain if he came back, but I don't see that happening, personally. I'll put him in maybe. Like, it's a lot easier to imagine Dark Souls 3 bosses in Elden just because they're more similar than 2 and 1 were. But, yeah. I wouldn't complain if he came back, but I wouldn't ask for him to come back. What is this? Half-Light? No. You could have a boss like Half-Light, like a player boss with like 2 echoes of your champions or whatever. But, Half-Light, no. It kind of just wouldn't make sense in any game other than Dark Souls 3. Soulless Cinder, I feel like he has to come back. Like, he is literally an amalgamation of every Dark Souls game. Like, he has the moveset of things from every single game. You know, he has the multiple movesets of different weapons. He's got magic. Like, there's no way he doesn't come back. He is just too entirely unique in his first phase for them to just go, fuck him. Like, it just wouldn't really make any sense. So I'm gonna leave him there. There's just no way. As the ending of Dark Souls 3, and we know they're bringing Dark Souls bosses back, it would be such a monumental fumble to have the boss that has the entire Dark Souls moveset and go like, oh, just leave him. Just leave him. Again, maybe you just buff up his first phase and you cut out his second phase and save that for Gwyn. But yeah, like, there's no way. There's no way he doesn't come back. I would be shocked and appalled if he didn't. ONS? ONS. Okay. I wouldn't want them. Personally, I wouldn't want them, but I don't see any way they don't come back. I just don't. I'm about to put them in yes just because of that. I think Ornstein's moveset would be interesting. And since they have Godskin Duo, which is already like, let's recapture that moment. Yeah, like I just don't see any way they don't come back. I really don't know what else to say. Like, they are ONS. Everyone knows ONS. Everyone glazes ONS. There's no way they don't come back. As much as I personally wouldn't really mind if it was only Ornstein, I imagine that ONS would come back. Gale has to, like, come on. The ending of their Soul of Cinder and Gale are the ending of Dark Souls 3. There's just no way that they wouldn't come back somehow. Like, I just don't see it. Also, Gale had a super interesting moveset, advancing from more of a mongrel or a brute, just standing upright, facing you. He's got the Dark Soul in him again. He is Mr. Dark Soul. Mr. Dark Souls 3. He's got his revolving crossbow. He can teleport, split aggro between the players. He has the lightning shit. Like, he does, like, the guts flips when he flies around. He can jump up, shoot the Real talk, if you make him faster, I think he would be a perfect Elden boss. I just don't see any way they don't bring him back. For the fans. For the fans, at minimum. There's just too much he could do. And with the way that a lot of his moves cover area already, I feel like he would be great for co-op. So, I'll leave him there. Freed might be a hot take. I know people feel hot and cold about Freed. Like, it's a very you love her or you hate her kind of thing. I think Freed would work just fine. I don't know about the Ariandel phase. Like, I think that would work too. I just don't know how you would implement him coming back. But Freed was a fast-paced, on-your-toes kind of fight anyway. I think she would fit Elden really well. You probably have to speed her up. I know some people go, she's already too fast. She's already too fast. Send her to Sekiro. She already does too much. I know people say that, but in Elden, I imagine she'd have to be a little faster, and she would be perfect. Just a teeny weeny bit, and she would be perfect. Oh, and maybe get rid of her staggering. I imagine with 3 people, they would just stagger her to death. Pontiff has to come back. Pontiff has to come back. I really don't care about anything else. Pontiff has to come back. Oh my god. We've already seen Rolana. I imagine he would have a moveset like Rolana's and his mixed together from DS3. Like his would be a little bit more brutish than Rolana's is. Because Rolana is a lot more elegant than he was even in Elden. Like he moves fast, but she'll be like, oh yes, let me gracefully turn my entire spine and lean into the swing. Like you know what I'm saying. He's fast, but he's just straight swinging them bitches. You know what I'm saying? Then we have to factor in he knows frost magic. We see this in the Ariandel DLC. And then he already had like a cut moveset with the spear because he was meant to have that before they gave it to Ishin. And then he has the clone, and I think the clone would work really well in co-op. They'd probably have to make it a little bit more autonomous because it just copying his moves, I can't imagine that working really well with how fast Elden would be. So yeah, I'll put him there. I think yeah. Also with the way that Dark Souls 3 hyped him up and the very shitty payoff we got because he got scrapped as the final boss, I think this is the chance for them to redeem what he should have been. So yeah, I think he'd be awesome. I just think it would be so awesome to see him again. Old Demon King, nope. Osiris, nope. Could be cool, I guess. And Avoid. Yeah, he's very different looking. Yeah, he does switch between magic and his charge moveset. Oh no. Am I making a case for this bitch to come back? Cause he could be cool. Like, you know, yeah, his first phase has magic, so it could be very different from his very brutish second phase. But it's Osiris. Like, do we care about Osiris? I'll answer for me. I don't, funk ass. I'd put him in maybe. Like, he could come back in theory. I guess it is an interesting switch up, but Nameless King. Nameless King is already one of the best bosses in DS3 in my opinion. He would catch you rolling. Like, he was one of the main roll catch bosses in that game. I just don't see any way that he wouldn't come back because just of how well received he was. I could live if they skipped his dragon though. Like the King of Storms, nobody thinks about that part of the fight. Literally, if you ask anyone about Nameless King, you know who they're thinking about? Nameless King himself. They are not thinking about that shit ass first phase where you have like no depth perception and you're just sitting there whacking the thing's head. So yeah, Lothric again was already one of the best bosses in DS3 in my opinion. I think that Lothric could be pretty cool. Teleports, shoots magic, could keep everyone on their toes at the same time. No way. And again, very integral to Dark Souls 3's plot, so you would go, oh yeah, them again. You know, I think it'd be cool. I think they'd be cool. Udex Gundyr? Okay. Now here's the thing, because we have Udex Gundyr and then we have Champion Gundyr. I think a Gundyr should come back. I don't think I put him in yes straight up. But the thing is with Udex Gundyr, if they bring him back in particular, they could bring back his Puss Man like second form. And you could do some interesting shit with that. Covers a big part of the region, could keep everyone on their toes anytime he attacks because he looks like he would be able to cover most of the map with his strikes. And Darkness was, well, the Abyss was a big part of Dark Souls' plot in general. And again, with the Age of the Eclipse or whatever, you know, the entire bit that was cut out, punk ass Dark Souls 3, cutting out the most interesting parts of the story. Anyway, you know, I think story-wise, thematically, and whatever, it'd be cool. You know what? I think I'm gonna put Champion and Udex in the same thing because I could see either of them coming back and being cool, but it would have to be one or the other. Like Champion Gundyr could have a more straightforward warrior moveset that would be nice to see nowadays, but Udex would have the Puss of Man in him, and I think there's a lot you could do with that. And since he wouldn't be relegated to being a tutorial boss, you might be able to just give him what Champion Gundyr had. I didn't think about that. They could just give him all of Champion Gundyr's moves, because some of his moves are locked away at the start of the game. And then also give him the Puss a Man thing. Like, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be fucking sick. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, champ. Sorry, champ. Your normal form just isn't as interesting as that idea I just said. So I'm gonna leave it there. Wolnir? No. No. I just don't see any way you make him fun. I can't even really think of a way you rework him that I would go, oh yeah, that's interesting. Because he would just be like Nito. Like, he would do like the same kind of shit, but probably more annoying, you know? He summons skeletons, then you fight him and the skeletons, and then he just sits there like fucking King Dice swinging at you while you're doing it. So I don't know. The bracelet thing would have to go entirely. Like that would just be too easy. So yeah, I'll leave him there. Curse Rod of Greatwood? No. You don't want this boss. Let's be real. I don't even know what else to say about this thing. Like, what would it do that would be interesting? Have goons? We already have a ton of bosses that have goons. And then the ball sack thing, you don't want that. The arm thing, you don't want that. Like, I don't see any way you would bring this back and it'd be fun. Moonlight Butterfly. The only reason I'm even thinking about this is because it's a very interesting design. But I'd much rather a Pilgrim Butterfly come back, because I think they were way more cool looking. They were like the coolest things in game. But they only had one scene because, you know, shit Souls 3. It didn't want to do anything with any of the interesting plot lines. I shouldn't say that. Like, there was cool stuff in 3, but goddamn, bro, seriously. Moonlight Butterfly, I don't see how you would make the fight cool. Like, it's a butterfly. It has to float away from you. But then how would you make it fun for melee builds, you know? Like, I don't see any way that you make this boss that doesn't run into the same problems Dark Souls 1 had with him. So, I'll leave him there. Champions Gravetender and Great Wolf. You would have to make the Gravetender an actual boss. Like, he would have to do something. But other than that, this could work. The Great Wolf, I've glazed the Great Wolf so many times. I'm actually sick of glazing this Great Wolf. The way he charges, snow covers him, yeah, he's got the red eye for him. He could breathe ice and shit. And I imagine if you make the Gravetender a fight as well, that actually does stuff. Because he does have a moveset. Yeah, he does have Valor Heart. The Valor Heart moveset could be really awesome to see in Elden. But then he also had magic. I imagine if they brought this boss back, he would have to mix his magic and Valor Heart together. Like, maybe he casts out of the sword or something. And then the wolf is still there. You bump them both up a bit because it's Elden and they have to move a little faster. And that could work. The only thing is, I can't imagine most people are excited to see this boss. Like, they're not exactly like a landmark in the game. Most people, if they think of this DLC, they're thinking of Freed. They're not thinking of Great Wolf. So, yeah. Dragon Slayer armor. Visually, I think this boss would be awesome. Just the way he moves. Summoning lightning from the sky. Yeah, the way he drags his axe against the ground. I think you would have to cut the Pilgrim Butterflies. I know some people are gonna go, that's hypocritical because you just said you like the Pilgrim Butterflies. Them just shooting shit at you from off screen was lame as hell. Yeah, like, we don't need them. Maybe buff him up a bit, and I think he could be very awesome visually. Like, I'm gonna put him in maybe Demon Princes. I think this was the best duo fight in Dark Souls. That's a hot take. I know that's a hot take. I know people love to complain about this boss, but I think that the first phase, where one was really fast, one was really slow, you could fairly focus both of them. I think they were the best. They didn't need fucking pillars to break them up. They didn't need anything in the map to break them up. Their movesets were just balanced. You can think what you want to think about the second phase and it having too much health. That's the main complaint I've heard about it. But other than that, I think this is like the perfect duo fight. They are the last of the demons, which would be cool. You know, I know some people say, oh, old demon kid, because he does the little Olympic thing and he's in the circle of the demon bodies, which is crazy. I know, but they were the last ones in the game. So I think it would be cool symbolically. So yeah, I'm gonna put them there. Deacons? No. I know I made a case for mages, but mages also didn't have as many people in the room as deacons did. And also deacons' entire kill mechanic was that they would insta-kill you. And I don't see any way you make that very fun to do. Fighting 8,000 guys at Elden Ring speed while there's another dude in the back charging up a one-shot. They could exist, they could come back, but it's not a fight I would be interested in seeing in any way, in shape or form. Midir? I think Midir has more potential to be interesting than Sin does. Sin is really just a poison dragon. I hate to say it, but Sin does not have anything other than poison. Like, I don't know what else he would do. Midir has the dark, and there's a lot of shit you could do to play around with the dark. He has his laser breath. He has his thing where he channels the humanities out of the ground. Like, there's shit you could do with that besides just making him a dragon. So, kind of the same as Calamite with his calamity shit. So I feel like he could come back and I would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's a sensible play. I think it'd be cool to see him again with more like dark themed attacks or abyss themed attacks. Dancer, I think she could fit. Again, she has a lot of wide sweeping moves that would keep everyone on their toes. And I imagine if she did that move where she like swirls around her entire body, I imagine that would be jumpable in Elden. And that would be pretty cool to do. Kind of like how Dancing Lion, when he sweeps around, you could jump over his like fart clouds or whatever. I imagine it'd be something like that. It would be a cool boss, but I'm not exactly like hoping that she comes back. Crystal Sage? No. No. Like, they could come back. I could see that being a kind of boss that comes back, but I wouldn't want them. Ancient Wyvern, stop playing with me. Aldorich. The thing is with Aldorich, is Aldorich could dream of people's powers and have them. This is again what I mean by Dark Souls 3 just had a lot of cool concepts. It did jack diddly shit with them. I imagine if you rework him and you give him more than the Life Hunt Scythe, then that would be cool. The fact that he has it and that's like a super big thing in Dark Souls' story, where it's like, this is the god-slaying weapon, that would be pretty raw. But the way he works mechanically, I don't know. The thing is, with unlike Crystal Sage, him having the ability to move around fast, that's it. That's what he does. Crystal Sage has clones that shoot shit at you, and that's annoying. Aldrich does like magic spam, but I can't imagine he'd be able to lock down every one of, like, each of the three of you at the same time. So he could push team mechanics. Yeah, I'll leave him there. I'll leave him there. I'll leave him in maybe. It could be cool. Manus? How do you not put Manus? Like, how do you not put Manus? Honestly, like, he's already got a fast moveset. He's got the combo. He hits pretty far. He's got magic. Like, he is Mr. Abyss. And as Mr. Abyss, I don't see him missing this game. I just don't. There's just no way. There's just no way. Abyss Watchers? I have my beef with Abyss Watchers. If you've watched my tier list video, you've heard my beef with the Abyss Watchers. But there's 3 of them. There's 3 of you. I think that could be cool. I think their Ember moveset could be cool as well. I'll put them in, yeah. It'd be nice to see them again, especially with all the new powers we have. Oh, and imagine they do that slide attack where they go really far and you can jump under it. Like, they have the poke, you can't jump that. But the one where they just slide and it, like, the sword is completely scraping against the ground, you could jump that and it would be an opening. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'll put it in yes. I don't see any way to not put it in yes. Artorias has to come back. He's just too iconic to not. They always bring back the Artorias flip or the guts flip or whatever the fuck you want to call it. His sword was in like every Dark Souls game. There's no way he wouldn't come back. And also his moveset was fun. So yeah, people, oh god. The only problem is I imagine that Elden fans that haven't played Dark Souls are gonna go like, yo, this dude has the Radon flip. That shit would piss me off. But other than that, yeah, like, no way he doesn't come back. But this has been my who I'd like to see in Nightreign tier list. Honestly, when I started this and I started talking, I was like, oh, I'm blazing through this. This won't take this long. I think it's been an hour. So that went out the window. Anyway, very subjective tier list, obviously. I would love to know what you guys think. I think this is a super interesting concept. And I think it'll be really interesting to see, like, to look back at these things when Nightreign actually comes out. Watch they go like, yeah, we just included everybody. But what do you guys think? As always, as long as you're respectful, I'm glad to discuss with you in the comments. And I've been M, and I am out.